Oil can move a tank, it can fly a stealth jet, it can power a megacity. But oil cannot stop a revolution. It cannot feed a starving population. And it certainly cannot prevent the total collapse of an empire when the bread lines begin to stretch for miles. Today, we are witnessing the end of the petroleum age and the dawn of the agro-empire. A world where a bushel of wheat is more strategic than a barrel of crude, where a handful of grain dictates the survival of nations. To understand why wheat is the next oil, we must look at the ghosts of the past. 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire faced the exact same dilemma we face today. Rome did not run on coal or electricity. It ran on the grain of Egypt and North Africa. The annona, the state-controlled grain supply, was the single most important department in the imperial government. The emperors knew a terrifying truth. The loyalty of the Roman mob was not bought with gold, but with bread. When the grain ships from Alexandria were delayed by storms or pirates, the streets of Rome turned into a bloodbath. Eventually, as the soil of the provinces grew tired and the trade routes became too expensive to defend, the bread stopped flowing. The human body is a machine that requires fuel. We have spent the last 100 years building a world that runs on carbon, but we forgot that the human component of that world runs on calories. When oil prices spike, the economy slows, people drive less, life becomes more expensive, but it continues. But when wheat prices spike, people don't just consume less, they starve. And starving people have absolutely nothing to lose. Wheat is the ultimate psychological lever. It is the only commodity on Earth that can turn a peaceful citizen into a revolutionary in less than 72 hours. In the language of power, wheat is the master key that unlocks or locks the stability of every nation on this planet. In 2010, a massive heat wave scorched the Russian steppe, destroying 1/3 of their wheat crop. Moscow banned all grain exports to protect its own people. Within weeks, the price of flour in Cairo, the world's largest wheat importer, doubled. The result? Chaos. This was the first true wheat war of the 21st century. It proved that you don't need to fire a single missile to topple a regime. You just need to close the silo doors. The dictators of the world realized in that moment that their true enemy wasn't a foreign army, but a failed harvest half a world away. While the West was obsessed with semiconductors and green energy, Beijing was playing a much longer game. China now controls over 50% of the entire world's wheat reserves. Think about that. Half of the planet's survival is locked behind Chinese walls. This isn't just about feeding their people, it's about calorie hegemony. In a world of climate instability, the country that holds the reserves becomes the de facto central bank of life. They have realized that in a true crisis, you cannot eat a microchip, and you cannot negotiate with a starving neighbor. By hoarding the grain, China has effectively neutralized the food weapon of the West. But here is the twist that most analysts miss. To grow wheat at a global scale, you need nitrogen. And to get nitrogen, you need natural gas. This is the gas-food nexus. Modern agriculture is essentially the process of turning fossil fuels into edible calories. When the price of gas goes up, the price of fertilizer triples. When fertilizer becomes too expensive, farmers plant less. When they plant less, the world starves. This means that even the next oil is still chained to the old oil. This dependency has created a terrifying bottleneck. A single disruption in a gas pipeline in Siberia can lead to a famine in sub-Saharan Africa. We haven't moved away from oil, we have just hidden it inside our bread. We are familiar with OPEC, but a new, far more dangerous cartel is forming. Russia and Ukraine together accounted for nearly 30% of global wheat exports. When these exports were choked, it wasn't just collateral damage, it was a strategic lever. If you control the calories of your rivals, you don't need a standing army to dictate their foreign policy. You simply wait for the hunger to do the work for you. Every grain elevator in the Black Sea is now a strategic asset, as valuable as an aircraft carrier. Wheat is the ultimate soft power tool, except its impact is as hard as a bullet. The ultra-elite have seen the writing on the wall. Why has Bill Gates become the largest private owner of farmland in the US? Why are Wall Street hedge funds pivoting into agribusinesses and water rights? The answer? Finite resources. We can print more digital currency, we can even find substitutes for petroleum, but we cannot innovate our way out of the need for topsoil. They are buying the means of production for human life. We are witnessing the return of a high-tech feudal system where the lords control the fields and the masses pray for a harvest. In this new world, the true wealth is not in a digital wallet, but in the dirt beneath our feet. The catalyst for this transition is the environment. As the planet warms, the bread baskets are moving. Traditional zones are becoming dust bowls, while northern frontiers in Siberia are opening up. This is the weaponization of geography. A nation that can grow surplus wheat in a world of drought isn't just a producer, it's a kingmaker. Every degree of temperature rise is another cent on the price of a loaf, and another nail in the coffin of global stability. This is the scarcity engine, and it is already running at full speed. For 50 years, the global order was built on the petrodollar. But what happens when the world cares more about calorie security than energy security? We are moving toward the agrodollar. We are seeing trade deals where wheat is swapped for gold, or grain is bartered for weapons. The currency of the future isn't digital, it's edible. When the final history of our era is written, it won't be about who had the most missiles, but who had the most grain. A man with a full stomach has many problems. A man with an empty stomach has only one. We like to believe we are beyond the primitive struggles of our ancestors. We have AI, we have space travel, we have the internet. But strip it all away, and we are still the same biological entities that huddled in caves 10,000 years ago. We are still slaves to the harvest. The next oil isn't some rare earth mineral or a fusion reactor. It is the golden head of a wheat stalk. It is the thing that keeps the lights of civilization on by keeping the darkness of hunger at bay. The transition is silent, it is absolute, and it has already begun. The only question remains, when the bread runs out, what will you be willing to trade for a single loaf? The next time you walk into a grocery store and see a simple bag of flour, don't just see a commodity. You are looking at a fragment of global power. You are looking at the new oil. The question is no longer, how much will it cost to fill your car? The question is, who decides if you get to eat? The wheat wars have begun, and in this war, there are no bystanders, only the fed and the fallen. If you want to understand the hidden forces shaping our future, subscribe to Economic Legacy. Leave a comment below. Do you think food will be the ultimate weapon of the 21st century? We are waiting to hear your perspective.